Okay, here we go. So notes number 2. We're going to talk about mean, median, box plots, and the new concept, standard deviation. Okay, so this is a recap from Monday. And you've been finding the mean and the median of a set of data probably since like 6th or 7th grade. So this is just kind of a recap from your entire life. All right, so to find the mean, we're going to add up all of the pieces of data. And divide by how many pieces of data we have. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pieces of data. When I add all of these numbers up, I get 92. And when I divide 92 by 8, I get 11.5 for the mean. Easy peasy. To find the median, I have to put the numbers in order first. So I'm going to check them off as I write them down so I don't miss any. So I've got 1, 3, 8, 11, 12, 14, 18, 25. And I always just like to count them to make sure that I've written them all down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Looks like I got them all. So I'm going to cross the numbers out until I get to the middle. There happen to be 2 numbers in the middle of this set. So I'm going to add those together and divide by 2. So I can figure out where the middle is. Hopefully you kind of know, well, the middle must be 11.5, but just in case, you would just add those. 23 divided by 2 is 11.5. So our mean and our median happen to be the same number, which is cool because the mean and the median are measures of center. You want to know, well, the average. What's normal? What's in the middle? What's everybody in the middle doing? Okay. So that's mean and median. The next thing that I talked about in the video from Monday is how to make a box plot. So I'm going to use that same data we were just working with. So I'm going to use, and I already have them in order, which is good. And I'm going to have to find 5 different things. I need the minimum, which will be a dot. I need the max, which will be a dot. We just found that the median was 11.5. And now I've got to find Q1 and Q3. So Q1 is the middle of the lower half, and Q3 is the middle of the upper half. So here's the lower half. The middle is going to be not 1, not 11, but in between 3 and 8. So since it's between two numbers, that's when we add and divide by 2. 8, 9, 10, 11 over 2 would be 5.5. And then the middle of this upper set of data, we would add 14. Yeah, that's fine. Thank you. Over 2, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 equals 16. All right, so to make the box plot, you'll be given a number line. It's going to start at 1, and it needs to go all the way to the max at 25. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. minimum, I need the Q1, which we found is 5.5. I need the median and the Q3, which we found was 16, and I need the max. So the minimum is a dot. Q1 is going to be a line at 5.5. The median is going to be a line at 11.5. Q3 is a line at 16. And the max is a dot at 25. So I connect my box. And there she is. So cute. All right, so in your Delta Math practice today, you have 2 problems where you find the mean and the median, and you have 1 problem where you create a box plot. All right, so then the last thing I'm going to talk to you about is the standard deviation. So this is new for you. So what they said in the video is that standard deviation tells us how spread out the data is. You can calculate the standard deviation by hand if you're interested. Or usually I would give you a calculator and we would talk about how to put the data in the calculator. But Delta Math has its own standard deviation calculator that we're going to use to calculate how spread out the data is. But what we are going to be looking for are 2 different things: population standard deviation and sample standard deviation. So in statistics, like the guy was saying in the first video, the population of the United States is 308, you say billion, million? 308 million people. That is the population of the United States. And if I had to calculate 308 million pieces of data, that's a lot of calculations, and it's going to take a long time. So what he said is that really you just kind of want to look at a piece of the pie, and then you can say, okay, well, since this piece of the pie, this is what the data looks like, we're just going to go ahead and say that that represents everybody. So if you're just looking at a small piece of the pie, well, that's just a sample of the population. But in Delta Math, they kind of just throw those words in there, it's really not going to mean a lot to us, except for the symbol that you are going to look for. So for the population symbol, we will be looking for this O that kind of has like this extra line on top. They called it sigma. And if they say the word sample, well, the symbol that we'll be looking for is a capital S and then an X. I actually think that they have an X behind sigma as well, now that I think about it. And we're going to write down the Delta Math instructions for using the calculator. And I'm going to do this with you on the website, but I just want us to record this so that we have it written down. So the first thing that we'll do is copy the values. Next, we'll open the stats calculator. Next, we'll paste. And I'll show you what these instructions are for in just a moment. Now, we'll use the drop down to click Calc Menu, and we want one variable stats. And last, we calculate. So I know these directions seem kind of crazy, but I promise I'm gonna show it to you in the website and what it looks like. So just write it down, please. Yeah, it just says 1 bar. Oh, and before I forget, we also need to talk about decimals for just a second. So if you have a decimal, this is the tenths place. This is the hundredths place. This is the thousandths place. Because they're going to ask you to round to the hundredths place or the thousandths place. So you need to know how many decimal places they're asking you for.